AwesomeCast. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the social medias in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh. I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Sure, everything's great. Everything's going just fine. We got a special night here tonight. First of all, with us on the line from the iPhoneography podcast, it's Dave Podnar.
Glad to be on tonight, Sorg.
Hello. Wait, is this an AI-generated background? I think we've used part of that for the AwesomeCast cover.
Know what? This is a new one. This is a new one. I actually, and it's one thing. Part of my awesome thing is and I'll tease it. This is about part of my awesome. This is going to describe the awesome thing I have later.
All right, that's right. There you go. And also back with us, of course, intern John's on the line as well, hanging out with us and in a mortal fight with Twitter at the moment for logins. But we have a return. We have a special surprise return here today. If you see with us on the video, you see it in the corner. Chachi is back with us.
I'm here.
You may know Chachi as such COVID projects as Put a Pickle on It.
Yeah.
I was thinking of you the other day when I was going out to Greensburg because there was a big poster about a gherkin on a billboard.
So, I for the first time ever, I stopped using social media, but I lurk.
Yes.
So I was on Facebook, and I saw an advertisement as I was reporting posts in the community group that I'm a member of.
Which is your new pastime.
Yeah, that's my new pastime. But there's some kind of roofing company called Gherkin Roofing.
Yeah, I think it was a roofing company.
Yeah, and it's like Pickle It or something like that. There's this like Pickle It. I'm like, that is awfully close to being infringement on my intellectual property.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Yes. So, 1 second here as I adjust something and do that thing. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that because it's from the area. You're in that area now, right? So, but you're back on.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's been a couple years.
It's been like I don't think you've been on anything since before COVID.
No,
like probably. So and of course you had the Insert Going to Begin back in the day that we were doing.
Yep.
Was a video game podcast we were doing for a bit, and Chachi Plays for Kids, and God knows what else we worked on.
If there is a project that you are involved with,
you've been around.
I've been involved with the project
and
some
director of the Renegade Wrestling Alliance shows for a good while now as well. So yeah. So I think a lot of people will be glad to see that you've made it back on the show here. So good to see you. So we got our awesome things. We got everything lined up. So let's get into our. Once again, thank you, Kid Mental, for all those great sounders through the episodes that we do. Since we teased it, Dave, let's get into your awesome thing of the week first.
Sure. So there has been an update to the backend for ChatGPT for its imaging software. So it has now. I tested it on one image, and it is better where the text in the image, it's mostly correct. It isn't looking janky. There's a couple of little errors. The image behind me, I basically said, I want an image, Pittsburgh related, high tech for a technology podcast. So it suggested, well, let me try to go this way. Going from the industrial era of Pittsburgh and merging into the high-tech area. And you can see it actually, wrong finger, here we go. You can actually see it says AI on it. And the word AI is actually legible. But they're using a completely new back end also. So the, I forget what the image they were using before.
So it says it's powered now by GPT-4o or 4, right. 4 the letter O, I believe, right?
Right. Instead of DALL-E. So they completely dropped DALL-E and added this. So it still has the same limitations. So basically, if you have the free version, like I do, you can only do 3 images a day. But that's one I actually, said finish line photo.
Yep.
And you can. It says finish. And
what
said put.
What is pin O at the top though?
That, like I said, that's the janky part.
Okay.
That's the janky part. But I did ask it to put Prof Pod somewhere on there. If you zoom into the actual shirt itself, it actually, the letters, you can see them.
Mm-hmm.
So it is
A little funky, but you know.
It's a little funky, yeah. But compared to what we were getting before, you know, where you would say, here's a letter, and it would put, that was the tell that it was AI. You know, the letters would be completely messed up. And fingers, of course.
Yeah. So go ahead.
I was about to say, so I think it's actually a good step forward. And one thing I find exciting about AI is how quickly the changes are happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it isn't a matter of, you know, like for computers, it's like, well, we're a little bit quicker than we were last year. You know, or phones really don't have, I mean, until foldables become popular, phones really have minor changes year over year. Mm-hmm. But AI is making these giant leaps because it's only 2+ years old.
Well, yeah, and it's the hot topic now, so everyone's working on it immediately. I mean, I used GPT. I used AI to write a lot of my documentation at work for things that I don't want to spend the time writing. Mm-hmm. And it's just instructional stuff like changing the default website on a browser. I don't want to write that up.
I've actually used it. This is one I was about to tell before we went on the air. You know, we went and did some visits and did a bunch of interviews and was like, okay, I gotta make a video, and I'm really pressed for time. You know what I mean? They're like, they want this thing next week, so I can't do like all the reviewing and discovery and all that kind of stuff. So I threw it in a Mac Whisper, transcribed it, made a GPT on ChatGPT. It says, here's all this stuff. This is what this is. This is what the event is. Okay. I added generate a script. Tell me what I can make out of these quotes, and it's got like you know, hey, narrate this, and this, and it has mostly the quotes. And the nice thing is I can go to Final Cut, transcribe in Final Cut, so I can search for what they say. So I don't even need time codes, right? Put something together, and I was like, okay. And of course they come back and says, well, actually, I think we want the messaging to be this, and this. And I was like, cool. I just need to go back to that GPT and be like, hey, can I just get more on this? You know, because like I know it's in here. Can you tell me like where we talked about this, and this? So like the discovery has been, because if I would have sat there and sit through, God, we did like 45 minutes of interviews. And I'm going to sit there, and it's going to take more than 45 minutes for you to go through the interviews, pick stuff. Hopefully I caught what they said and digested it and realized what I could do with it at the time, right? But now I can take this, and it was like, okay, what are we saying around this? Okay, well, let's move this way, you know, da-da-da-da-da. It gives you a nice starting point, right, to something like that. I've been given scripts that were completely AI, and you can tell. Mm-hmm. You know, it was just like, okay, we got to clean this thing up, you know? So... You know, and I've been apparently nobody talks to the kids in college about AI at the school that I teach at. If I ask them, because I'm like, are you guys talking about this? Are teachers doing this? I'm starting to get emails from Point Park now actually about it. And I was like, hey guys, you should do this to save time, but read it. Like review it, because it's going to make you look one way or another. And I know I screw that up. You've seen the videos I put up. Like sometimes the text is weird and I didn't catch it, you know, and, you know, I'm trying to review them, and, you know, you're going to miss it, but I'm also trying to do a bulk, you know, kind of situation. So, I was just kind of curious because, I will usually, again, this is a show where I'm very time crunched for putting things together. Last week, I was really happy with the image that came out last week. When did this roll out, Dave? Because I was
I only seen articles about today.
Okay,
so it was only announced today, so I'm thinking it just rolled out.
This was last week when we were talking about the Pebble watching. We were talking about the hills with Ellen, right, of Pittsburgh Hills on Instagram, and I love this kind of more striking, and there wasn't as much text as usual that we get here, because I'm usually like, no, give me less text, because it'll say AwesomeCast real big and a bunch of the topics like that on devices that don't apply to the text, you know, kind of thing. And just out of curiosity, I want to see if there's any improvement. I would just like, hey, generate something again, and you know, this is what I got. And it's like, I think it's a little cleaner. You got a little more text. But like, I don't know if the text is better though. Like if it's claiming it, or maybe I'm not in the right system or something like that, right?
I'm seeing it does. At least I can see steep. And I don't know. It
looks like sit or something, right?
ST, maybe ST for street.
Yeah.
Or something else, something messed up.
Yeah, so I mean, it's still not great with the text, but it's trying. And sometimes you're just like, but also it doesn't listen to me when I say, "Hey, please stop trying." So
Yeah, I wish I could say, no text, because if they don't have any text, I can go into another program and add the text.
I'm really curious because we had a thing a while ago where we were trying to recreate Riz and Katie sitting on the couch in the studio, and we did, and Missy like figured out how to how to write it, and got a really good, like, the couch and like this background sound baffling got really, really good, but like we couldn't get Katie to not look like a buxom Barbie doll. Like, as much as we tried, it was like, no, she should look this way. I'm like, no, but it doesn't look like her. We're trying to, she looks more like this, and trying to explain it and trying to dump the photos in. And Riz was like I think it was just like because it was gaming or something. It kept making Riz a large, rotund gentleman for some reason, and I was like, no, that's not it. No, but again, that was like, what, a year ago we were trying that kind of stuff, right? I'd love to go back and I'd be like, hey, can you make this now based on your new engine, right? Or take the old text or something like that and kind of try to recreate it to some extent. So, but
I've used I have Gemini on my 9, and I use that from time to time. It's not bad.
Okay,
it gives me what I asked for.
Yeah, and I can't really say. I mean, you've seen the results. I've seen. I showed them on the show a little bit ago. I think you've seen the results of when I send you the image playground stuff from Apple.
Yes, I have.
They are intriguing.
Yeah,
they are very intriguing.
That's a word.
Yeah,
that is a word that you can use to describe those.
Yeah, they need to go back to the drawing board on that. Please let me integrate Gemini on my Apple, please. But anyways, and then of course, CarPlay and everything is just like, okay, Siri, it feels like it's telling me more, but it's not great. It's not full like ChatGPT or anything like that.
No.
And I'm afraid to bring up ChatGPT because I'm never in a by myself environment without something on that I know it's going to start talking to.
Yeah.
But I want to be like, hey, can you tell me da 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 da? And like, I almost wanted to do that driving the other day, and I'm like, I don't think it's gonna work, or it's too sensitive.
Well, you know what though, I've done it where I did the switch that says go to ChatGPT without asking.
Oh, I need that. It did eventually, like
in the settings. So, like, we'll hear something, on a podcast. And I'm like, well, is this there? So, and then I do that, and you can tell it's not using Siri. It's going back to ChatGPT to get the answers.
Is that under Apple Intelligence or is that under Siri? Or is that basically the same thing? Actually,
I forget.
I think it's. Oh, never mind. It's Apple Intelligence and Siri. And
and
where do I see this? Do I just go under the extensions for ChatGPT?
I think so. And
and there's confirmed ChatGPT requests.
There it is.
Yeah, and so this is going to be here. I'll throw this on the screen so you guys can see it over here. So if you're in this, I don't think there's anything private that's going to be on here. So you go to your Apple Intelligence and Siri, and then you go down to hit your ChatGPT if you have it set up for something like this. You're signed into it and everything, and you say this confirm chat. So if I do this, if it's if it can help, Siri will always ask permission. So if I kick this off, it'll just go ahead.
Sending a file.
If I'm sending a file, okay.
Yeah. But now if you just have general request, where if you have that checked, it'll say, do you want me to use ChatGPT to be sure? It'll just use it.
It'll just go ahead. So, because I know it's asked me that before. So now, I mean, that's at least tenable a little bit, right? Is like you at least like that makes it a little more useful. Can you put more than one in there? Can I like I don't think you can, I think ChatGPT is the only one you can do so far. They are going to add more.
So far. They talked about maybe Google Gemini.
Yeah.
And maybe something from Meta. But right now, the only one they have the agreement with is ChatGPT.
So, which makes sense because ChatGPT wants to get in front of more people. Google obviously has a little more juice to get theirs out there in front of people out there, right? Because, a lot of people have phones like Chachi where it's completely integrated. I'm sure, and probably and better integrated than ours is going to be, quite honestly. But even if I just had the, hey, ask ChatGPT this, would be incredible.
On mine it is the Google Assistant now. Like I'm not.
They replaced it.
I still have to say the phrase to activate it, but it goes through Gemini now and not the Google Assistant app.
Yeah, so I heard about them replacing it recently.
So I mean, I use the the assistant a lot because I have a lot of the devices around my house, but I haven't used. I've been hesitant to use AI in general because of the negative connotations with it.
Yeah.
But I mean,
and it was bad on Google for a while.
yeah,
it was really bad.
And it's hard to ignore the fact that it exists when I'm in the space.
Yeah.
I mean, we have 3 different instances of AI in use at my job. So, I mean, it's hard for me to ignore
and
it.
you're at a job that
we're making it.
I would say, yeah, you're at a job where like they kind of know what they're getting into.
Yeah.
That company it's a company.
Yeah.
So I could remember if it was a company foundation. I keep forgetting that I work for a nonprofit, for instance. Right?
I mean, mine is a nonprofit, but it's still a company.
Right.
It's a corporation. But
a nonprofit corporation, probably, right? Yeah. I think that's what mine is too.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, the job I'm in, we are on the forefront of a lot of this. So it's hard for me to ignore. So
which is kind of nice,
yeah.
And I know there's been a push at my client's place too, so they're really kind of pushing that in there. So keep an eye on it, and I've been advising. I was like, hey, you can use it this way and this way, to get what you need done, because they're not going to hire me for the little social media thing. So I'm just like, hey, this is how I'm using this. Maybe you should consider this, because I know it's really busy right now in season. So and you still need to put content out, and I'm giving you the content that like that kind of thing. So. But it's really, really interesting. So, Chachi, let's go with your awesome thing of the week.
Yeah, so I didn't realize you covered this.
No,
last
that's
week.
fine, because I want your opinion, because this is a different perspective, because you're an Android user as well.
So my awesome thing of the week is the fact that the Pebble OS watch is coming back. I'm excited about this because.
You've been a Google Watch user for a while, right? You've had several, right?
My first smartwatch was Pebble 1.
Same here.
Right off the release.
Kickstarter edition?
Yes. And then I had the Pebble 2. And then they got bought by Google. So I had...
Well, I think they got bought by Fitbit and then
Google.
Yeah.
But... So I saw this. I'm rather excited because I haven't bought a new smartwatch, and I went a period where I wasn't wearing a smartwatch at all because I was trying to separate myself a lot from technology when I'm not working.
Yeah. Because you're IT, you're around it every day.
Yeah.
And not in the fun way.
Yeah, not in a fun way. Like I had 30 calls today where I just had to tell people to reboot their computers because that was the issue of the day, and that's how you fixed this particular issue. And they're like, I did that. I'm like, no, you shut down. I can see it here. You shut down. I need you to restart, which is a different process. And they're like, is it? I'm like, yes. But anyhow, so I have a Pixel, the Google Watch. It's fine. I mean, it's okay. It's the first one. So it's lacking a lot of features. But then I saw the Pebble OS watch coming back, and I was ecstatic.
It's everything you need.
Yeah.
I
just need a step counter.
Yeah.
Like, I just need a Fitbit, but I don't want a Fitbit.
Yeah.
I don't even think you can get a Fitbit anymore.
No, I think it's been mostly integrated, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the apparently that watch, I guess, right?
Right. So, but yeah, I saw this, and I was like, I mean, the price is right on, even for, I mean, the 2, which comes out in December, even is priced lower than a watch.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, this is fantastic.
And they'll last for a while because they're e-paper and everything. $225 for the Core Time 2, I think you're looking at. That's based on the Pebble Time 2, but better.
Yeah.
So
30-day charge.
Are you sure that's not the lower end one?
No, it might be.
No, that's actually both.
It's both of them are 30 days. That's
the difference. The difference between them is the 2 is a touch screen. That's the difference.
Okay. Yeah. And I think it has a heart rate monitor on top of it too, right?
Yeah.
So very cool.
But yeah, I'm rather excited about this.
Good.
Like I probably will order this soon.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't come out until December.
It's and I know it's been part of the news cycle too, because they've been talking about, the EU's getting on Apple about lockdowns, and they've been the founder of Pebble that's restarting it with this has been very loudly professing about how much he cannot do and I think the app is even being held up in review right now.
Right.
So versus what they're able to accomplish on Android, and that is an issue. But unfortunately, Apple is a store market leader. That's where the money is for developers. So what's that? Here.
That's where it is. Here.
Here in a lot of markets, I think.
I mean,
not all of them, obviously.
Yeah.
No, by per number of things. I think it makes sense if Pebble wants to sell watches, more Android phones exist.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So that's not a holder there, but you still need to placate. It's always there's more Android phones out there, but the people that spend money are the people with Apple, and that's been the they have more out there, but the developers that actually profit are on Apple because of people.
If you want to waste your money, waste your money. Waste your money.
But if you're making a business decision, you got to pick the platform.
The only problem with the Android versus Apple back and forth
are the people.
And Apple is shitty about it. Let's be honest.
No,
Apple are
that.
assholes about this situation.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. But when you say, and I agree that overall there's more Android devices, are we including China because the Google Store is not in China? So
the Google Store is not in China, but the phones are.
To have a separate thing in a China store. Where instead of just putting in the Google Store, in terms of the app that way.
Right.
Again, it's a complication. And I hate it when either side gets nitpicky at it because
listen, can we all just get along?
Right, exactly.
Listen, I had an Android phone, but I lost it. I don't know where it is because you know why? Because I couldn't find my phone to work. Okay, so problem first of all.
I don't know. I have never lost my phone.
Literally, I think it's in my bedroom somewhere.
Oh, probably.
I think it's somewhere in my bedroom. And if I just tear everything out of my bedroom, I'm probably gonna find this thing. And
I have always had an Android, except for no. I had Android. Before Android,
you had the original. You had a G1.
Yeah, that was my beginning. So yeah, I've had an iPhone. It was my side piece. I have an iPhone now. It's my side piece. I'm required to carry it.
Yeah.
Well, once.
But it's also
every other week.
and 1-to-1. You're just like, and I like this one better. Like that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. I do not give my brother shit at Thanksgiving for his Android phone. Okay, I think his wife has even though he is the one. Actually, no, it's my sister too. I think is an Android. So we're double green bubbled in the family. Okay, and that's okay. We don't separate them. We don't put them at a different table. Okay,
You should.
We don't. Just to be like, oh, I'm sorry, your photos look like shit, which isn't a thing anymore because we've been doing RCS. Except we've got a weird group thing going on.
That is such a mess.
I don't know what's.
It irritates the hell out of me beyond belief.
Because we have this group of like 5 of us.
Yeah.
And apparently it's starting new groups. And it's not just for you. I've noticed it on mine too.
Okay.
But I think yours is the worst.
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding. I mean, so yeah, we have a group chat.
What's it called?
It was probably not murderers.
Yes,
that was
up.
Yeah, that was the first one, and then the second one.
That's when the trouble started, though.
I renamed the group, and then it broke everything.
Because with RCS, you can do it now on Android, right?
Yeah.
With iPhone people.
Yeah. So when I named the group, probably not murderers, because I mean these people are probably not murderers. I've known them long enough, but it created a new group of the same people. It just continued the chat thread in another text in my app, and then I renamed that one to would probably help me hide a body. And then it did it again, and now it's doing it without me even renaming it. Like it will randomly just create a new thread.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have like 5 of them, and they will randomly update.
I also have something very strange happening with my phone too that I've noticed. So it may not be exclusively you. I might be part of it because there's some weird loading issues I've had the other day, or the day where it just like I could not answer the phone. And I had to restart it. Something is definitely happening with my phone right now. Anyways, other than that, so Pebble, still excited about Pebble.
100%.
We'll see how those goes. Now, here's my awesome thing of the week. I ended up with a new car this week. So we've
Did you steal it?
No,
okay.
Well, it feels like it. It was too easy.
You ended up with
it was
a new
way
car.
too easy. Like I'd be like, what did I do to fix my credit enough to get a car? Especially probably the most expensive car we've probably purchased in the long run. But also, like, you're not getting much of a deal these days. Let's be honest about
really
it.
not.
So it was just one of those like, oh, we need to do this before this gets bad. And also, like, it's been 10 years, guys. It's been over 10 years for us. It's time. It's time. The Ford Escape is not looking good these days, guys. So we finally picked one up and trying to get one that's like, kind of more, better for hauling equipment and things like that. And I'm afraid to say anything because I know what happens when people find out you have a truck. I am not accepting your requests, and I'm way too busy to haul your shit. And it's not that long of a bed, so you're not getting a couch in that damn thing. So there you go. Disclaimer
You're not trying
aside.
hard enough.
Anyways. No, we ended up with a Ford Maverick. It's a 2022. It's got, and it's I didn't get to tell you the rest of the story about that other than the guy coming around. It's got the bed like topper on it. The fold over thing. I don't know what you call that thing. And the guy's like, you can stand on that. I'm just like, are you sure I can stand on that? Like, maybe you can. And he said it's like 350 pounds. I'm like, shit, I think Beastman can almost stand on it.
Don't tell them
We're
that.
not testing
Yeah.
Beastman on that thing. He's already mad at me because I asked people if he's a furry on Facebook today, and that became a thing. We'll address that on Mayhem Show.
I mean,
That's for the Mayhem Show. But anyways. I'm surprised he hasn't called me about it yet, to be honest. So, actually, we should call him on the show. That's aside. But I didn't even know this because, again, God bless her. Missy did. She's like, we need this. We have this. It's here. We had to go all the way out to Indiana to a Toyota dealership to buy a Ford.
Indiana, PA.
PA. Yes. She said Indiana. I'm just like, PA? Every time anybody says that to me, I'm like, PA or the other one? So... Anyways, so it's a hybrid, which is new to me. Well, I don't think even my rentals have been hybrids. The only time I've been in a hybrid is in like an Uber. So it's got the kinetic braking, and it gets like 40 miles a gallon allegedly. And this is the thing that weirded me out. It's better mileage in the city because of all the start and stop. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm learning cars, as if I don't work around it all the freaking time in my day, in my job or something like that.
Yeah.
I feel like the logo thing is here somewhere. It's over there. But anyways, so no, I appreciate that. It's tricked out. Whoever got this, basically, I guess the reason is at the Toyota dealership. The guy had a Cadillac and was trading that in, and decided to throw the Maverick in too, for something because they're getting older. The wife isn't driving or whatever, right? So there was like the truck was his bounce around car, I guess, and so it's got I can show you the inside of that thing, but it's got all the bells and whistles on it. It's an XLT, so and also personal victory. This is the first car purchased in my name.
Ooh.
I've never officially owned a car.
I did that last February.
Yeah, was that your time?
Yeah, that was
okay.
my first. It was my first new car.
Okay.
It had 11 miles on, it had 11 miles on it when I bought it.
Yeah.
It doubled because it was like 20 miles from the dealership to my house. It put more miles on it leaving the dealership than it had on it when I bought it, and that was a first for me.
Rental car
Yeah.
the last time I went to California this month, and it had 40 miles on it.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm just like, it's like, wait, which one do you want? Is it this one or this one? It's like, no, it's the one on the right. And I was like, I thought it was the trip I was looking on the left. That's how many miles. Is it like, well, this has like 300 and some miles. You sure it's not this one? They're like, no, that's how many miles are left till tank. The tank is empty. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
it took me 2 days to figure that out. So I'm just like, why is this strip not flipping? Anyways, but also it's like a new car. It was, I don't know what brand it was, but it's not one I'm usually in. So the format's different and everything like that, right? I usually end up in Chevys for whatever reason, or a Nissan. I've been staying away from them because they're usually like the smaller SUVs, and I'm not doing that to myself anymore. I'm taking care of myself and my knees and my butt. Okay, when I'm
mind,
renting.
Yeah, I don't mind the small car.
Okay,
because I got the Nissan.
You also like how many inches shorter than me?
That's fair. Yes, that's true.
And it's usually me and Katie. So and we have equipment. So I'm not trying to stuff us all into a Malibu anymore.
You should. It'd be fun.
It's not fun for us to get in and out of. We're just like, oh God, she's climbing out. And after we've been like walking a Baja track all day, so it's like, nah, it's not happening, pal. So even I need to upgrade this new. I'm El Presidente. I pick my car, but like here, this one. Let's do this Equinox. Anyways, so that's my fun, awesome thing. I get to do that. I also get to stress over a new car payment. Oh boy.
But now I'll say this: I was looking. When I just in preparation for a new car a couple years ago before my old one wrecked and I had to get one, I was kind of looking at the Maverick.
Okay.
And the fact that yes, great gas mileage,
it's the sensible car
price.
is what I'm gathering.
What's that?
It's the sensible truck is from what I'm gathering.
If you look at old trucks from the 70s and early 80s, they were a hell of a lot smaller than these new trucks. Literally, you get an F-150, just a normal pickup truck. You may need a step stool to get in those things.
Yeah.
Even before you get to the Super Duty.
And I'm also like, I was also like, can my mother climb into this thing? If need be, right? And like, I mean, we had that camper for that COVID trip, and I remember that was the whole like. I think I had to get a stool out for her, honestly, in order to do that thing. And like, we were both getting worn out climbing in and out of the thing over that trip. So, anyways,
but Ford was heavy into customization in terms of here's some 3D parts you can print for like cup holders. You want a cup holder? Here's how you can 3D print a part for it.
Can you send some of that to my wife?
I have a problem with that.
Yeah, and they have extra stuff in the bed where you could where they're like extra plugs in the bed itself.
So you're talking about 3D printing parts for enhancement of the car, not like functional not car
functional.
things,
not necessarily
right?
Functional.
So like a cup, you mentioned a cup holder enhancement or something. You know what? Looking at the inside of this car, I kind of feel like that's what they did because it's really interesting what the interior of this car looks like. It's orange and gray for one thing. It's a blue truck.
They tried to make it for marketing.
Yeah,
a car for young people, not just.
I get that injection molding is practically the predecessor to 3D printing.
There's literally 3D printing processes. We just did a recording for the Aero Design podcast today. Some of the sponsors are just like an Aero Design or a 3D printing company for development, something like that.
I mean, there are channels on TikTok that I don't watch because I don't use TikTok, but Instagram Reels. There are people that are 3D printing bodies for their cars. Yeah, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Yeah. But there's different materials too. Like actually, some of the aero kits that they use for the Formula SAE, like I think they are like sent off to be like, but they use I can't remember what they use. It's like a lot of times it's fiberglass, and that's not the one that they're using. But there's other ones that they're doing. Although it was interesting, we just did one. It's probably going to release like another month or so. They made an aero kit out of hemp. So
this is like secondhand, but I believe that CMU 3D printed their SAE car frame. But they like messed it up and had to redo it, and the thing costs like $30,000.
Oh yeah,
it's not cheap at all.
Oh no, well the cars generally usually last or at least $30,000 for Formula at least SAE. So and these are go-kart sized.
That was just for the frame though.
Yeah, and the printers are not cheap either. No, so I mean,
that's why if you're at a university that happens to be doing a lot of the other cool stuff, it's kind of like the old like, hey, I got the cool job to get all the equipment so we can do cool stuff with wrestling. That kind of idea. Yeah. So but anyways, so where were we at with this? Oh yeah, so Very interesting where they're going with that. So, hey, let's give it a shout out here. We're going late in the show. I guess we started a couple minutes late here, too. But thank you, everybody that does support the show over here at patreon.com/awesomecast. We are putting the clips out, or not the clips. We're putting the after show out, although I don't think I put a description in last week. But you got it. You know, I didn't wait on it this time. You get the Patreon where we're kind of BSing in between shows and everything like that. And then sometimes, oh, no, that's the other show. I almost confused the shows here because there's a Dave Podnar there's a Dave Podnar special level apparently over on the Patreon over at Wrestling Mayhem show. You know, sometimes you'll just get like, you know, stuff like this happening. Poppy Club member Prof Pod over on Wrestling Mayhem show, for instance, right? So there
it
you
happens.
go. It happens.
Wow.
It happens.
Okay.
There you go. I saw that pop up on my feed. I'm like, well, keeping that.
Yeah.
We should do that with everybody. We can get the pictures of everybody, but Bradley still has to be that wedgie thing that Riz shows every week. So still showing that thing.
Just
He
notice.
is riding that into the ground.
Just
Oh, he
notice I
is.
had
Yeah.
2 scarves on.
You did have 2 scarves on.
Yeah,
You're-
but the AwesomeCast Patreon has 3 different levels.
Yes.
You have fan of the show at the $1 level,
Yes.
which is John DeGore and Dave Podnar. You got the Coffee Club at $5, which is Cynthia Klosky. Oh man, I love Cynthia. And executive producer $20 level Brian Crawford. So thank you for supporting AwesomeCast.
Pittsburgh exhibition for Brian Crawford.
Ah.
I remember this week. I think it's new Pittsburgh exhibition. Shit, I still fucked it up. Listen,
Well, that's not in the document, so I
it's
didn't
not in
know
the
that
document.
information.
I need to put it in the document.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
I
not
do.
in the document.
Yes, but I keep forgetting after this moment of the show to go back and check because I'm very, very busy. Anyways, thank you everybody that does support the show. Dave, do you want to go into your old stuff or do you want to talk about more AI stuff? Because we have a lot of stories
Let
in
me
that.
go into the old stuff.
Okay, let's do that. It's been sitting there for a week. I mean,
Okay.
it's old, so it'll wait, but
It's not
True.
going anywhere.
it's not going anywhere.
Well, we hope not. We hope not. So, a podcast I've listened to called History According to Bob has last week reached its 20th year anniversary.
Ooh.
And the reason I wanted to bring this up, not only the fact that he puts out 5 shows a week still. So we, as he said, I probably got around 4,700, 5,000 episodes.
I would
something
not
like
have
that.
lasted this long if I was putting out 5 a week. I've
That
tried
is-
that at certain intervals, and nope.
There was too many shows a week.
But he also does different topics each week.
There's a lot of history, Chachi.
I mean, I know there's a lot of history.
But the fact that he basically started with with a portable MP3 recorder and then gave it to someone to upload, and there's no music, there's no special effects. It's literally him talking to a microphone in the computer for 5 to 10 minutes at a time.
He's a professor.
He is a professor, yes. Well,
Okay.
he's now a retired professor,
Okay.
but he was a professor in high school. He was a professor when he started.
I have to say,
And
professors make the best podcast host.
Mm-hmm.
They're already used to presenting,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
they're an expert in their topics,
And they like wearing hats.
and they like wearing hats.
Mm-hmm.
History that doesn't suck is a good one.
Mm.
It's a favorite of mine.
Also,
Sorry.
shout out to our friend Professor Buzzkill,
Yeah.
of course.
and the fact, everyone, when people like, oh, I want to do a podcast, but I don't have this, and my quality isn't this, here's someone who has, he started doing this while he was teaching, and he's retired, and he still keeps it up. And it's like I said, you listen to an episode, it's him talking into a microphone, talking about subjects, either, I think the different things he's on now is the Crusades, and then talking about the Holy Roman Empire. And other times he's talked about Caesar, and he's talked about Alexander the Great and his father. And it's these topics that you don't get in school. It's history topics they don't teach you because they don't have time. And the fact that he's like, okay, here's something I do, I enjoy, I'm just going to do it. And that to me is, if you have an idea for a podcast, don't let, oh, my mic isn't the best, or, I have an old computer, or this isn't good, or, just do it.
That's what again, I go back to now that I'm later in it. I think we can talk about it a little bit. In my podcasting class at Point Park, we're not like pushing them to have a high quality, holy crap podcast with all the bells and whistles. It's literally like, listen, like you don't need to go to the studio to do these assignments. Like I need to know that you get the concepts so that eventually down the road you're going to get this if you keep going. Do you have a good foundation on something like this? Do you understand show structure and things like that? If you're, a couple months into this, you're not the greatest, podcast host or anything like that. Like you can get better. And I always talk about how terrible we were when we started, right? I'm like, we were terrible 20 years ago. Don't go look. Please don't look, and that's okay because you got to start somewhere, and it's all about reps. Oh, we were terrible.
No, we weren't.
I went back and listened to like an old Shima Zion Walking Wild interview, and it was not okay. It was not okay to listen to. I was terrible at interviewing people.
Were you terrible or were you new?
Well, yes,
because those are different statements.
It depends on what YouTube comments you read. So
that's why you don't read YouTube comments.
Well, they come up, and it's just like when it's the only one you get, or if we don't get many comments, so it's like, oh, a comment. Oh, I still suck.
Don't read the comments.
Anyways.
Also, Sorg, since you mentioned the comment.
No, okay, we'll put that video out there for somebody. Yeah, I had another one this week, and I don't even understand them. I don't even understand like what they're saying. Sorry, if you're on the audio, some people are transfixed on what's happening with Dave's eyes on the clips that we put out. So we're just gonna crank it up a little bit, aren't we, Dave?
Oh yeah, so, I lean into it.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no reason to be.
No.
I mean, I understand if you're like, why are the eyes going opposite directions? Why aren't they looking, and if you're respectful and nice about it, it's one thing.
Yes.
If you're saying WTF with those weird eyes.
And I saw you commented back on somebody on YouTube or something, right? So, but
listen, you're multitasking.
I'm looking everywhere.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
He's covering he's covering it all.
I respect your ability to multitask as well as you are. So, I mean, good job. Keep up the good work.
Yes,
I appreciate
this is
you.
your superpower.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
There you
good
go.
Work.
There you go. All right. Anyways, moving on. So that was if you want to check that out, that is historyaccordingtobob.com.
Damn.
If you want to go see what's going on with the Bob.
Definitely going to check out Bob.
Yeah, what's up, Bob? What do we got for stories here? Okay, Potter, I had to ask about this one. Space food is mushrooms. Your name wasn't attached to it when I first read this, and I'm like, what is happening here? Potter, what is happening?
Well, what's happening is they're looking for food that can grow in space. And what you want to have is food that doesn't use a lot of water, because water is very expensive to take up there or even produce in space with electrolysis. That's a lot of electricity. You don't want to do that. So you want something that grows very, very fast, because you want food kind of quickly. You don't have days to gather up everyone's poop and make potatoes.
This is
the Martian.
This is a plot point of Mickey 17, by the way, a little bit. So,
so what they're looking for is they're going to try to grow mushrooms in orbit.
Wait. Can we look at this label for a second here? If you're on audio here, Mission Mush Vroom.
Vroom.
Well, I don't want to go to space anymore.
Anymore?
I don't like mushrooms. If that's what I'm gonna have to eat, I don't want to go. Give me the astronaut ice cream. I barely Tang is fine. The ice cream I can choke down, but no mushrooms.
Listen, this is just a balanced part. This is just a part of your balanced diet in space. Okay,
I don't
like
want that.
They'll work it out.
They're
I might need
actually
some
they're,
flavored
yeah,
mushrooms.
they're looking for things that are grow, pick, and eat. So you don't have to prepare it once it grows. You can basically
get the
pick it
berries.
and it's so they're looking at lettuce, tomatoes, and mushrooms.
There you go.
As things that
There
kind
you
of
go.
grow quickly. You can do it. And mushroom, as they mentioned here, it's one of the foods that contain vitamin D.
There you go.
So
you get your
in
D.
space,
Yeah, what you need.
You
Gotta get your
need
D.
that extra
Need your
D.
D.
That's a way to do it.
Yeah.
And this person says they double in size every day. You don't need specialized fertilizer, and they say you don't need a lot of water. They also have potassium. So it's a very nutrient dense food, and you can grow it quickly. And they're actually it's a SpaceX mission where it's only going to be in orbit for, I think, 3 to 5 days.
Okay.
So they're going to try to grow quickly, bring it back down compared to mushrooms that were left in Florida.
Is that a taste test?
I don't know if they're going to taste that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's part of that, but I hope a taste test is part of it. Put it on a
Yeah.
pizza and see what happens.
Yeah.
I think I've seen this episode of Ninja Turtles.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yes.
But yeah, so it's, and again, it's, if we want to go to space more than just the International Space Station that's been up there for 25 years now, we're going to have to figure out how to grow food locally. And it may be, hey, guess what? Mushrooms are a great food. Like I said, nutrient dense, easy to grow. It's worth it. And also, they grow very quickly here on Earth. So if you're looking for ways that you can get to feed a lot of people, this is the kind of food that you would be looking for. So yeah, so it's not the if you remember, if you ever see some old science fiction where the astronaut food was the tube,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you squeeze out like
Well-
toothpick. No, it's going to be mushrooms.
I'd say even in I mentioned Mickey 17 and if you've seen the trailer, there's like a replicant kind of situation, but part of the general plot that's, I don't think spoilering, is they're trying to travel to another planet, and so everybody gets slop, like literally gray ooze for food every day. So for, I don't know, I think it's only 4 years or something to get there.
Well, in Project Hail Mary, it's going to be brown colored tube food.
Oh really?
But Andy Weir described it as delicious. So they actually
Okay.
they get the flavor and the taste down.
It just, the look is kind
Yeah,
of funky.
the look is what
yeah.
drives it away.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. So you just kind of like close your eyes and imagine. It's just like that scene from The Matrix. Like, I just imagine that this is some oatmeal or
Yep.
steak or da 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 da.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So awesome. I got one thing, Podnar. I want to make sure this gets in here because you marked this, but since Chachi's here and already talked about a little bit of his Gemini and his phone, I think it's very pertinent. Can you look at that Gemini app story that you got there?
Yeah. So we actually had this on Google's LLM a while back about making kind of a podcast. So this is actually now being integrated into the Gemini app, both in Android and in iOS.
Okay.
So what you'll be able to do is take a file, upload it, and it'll actually produce an audio recap of it. So kind of like what you guys were doing with, here's some information, summarize it for me, like Chachi was doing with work, but you could do as an audio file.
Okay.
So it's something. Now the weird thing is, it does not have a built-in audio player. So when you generate the audio, you have to download the M4A file in a browser tab and listen to it that way. So it's a little clunky that way.
How do you signal this? What are you asking it to do? Audio? Are you asking it to do an audio
Well, what
overview?
I'm doing a lot of times when I tested it, I uploaded a document, and then I just clicked generate audio overview.
So you just literally type generate audio overview.
Yeah, I think it's actually a button once you upload the Yeah, once you upload a file or
Okay.
a slideshow or something, it will at the very bottom where it has like the suggestions, it'll give you that suggestion saying generate audio overview right there.
Okay, so we're going to play with this for a moment. I uploaded something. So, I mean, again, it's a script. It's actually a script that we used, I think, last month for news. So
Really surprised that John the intern didn't hide this link in the story, because this is exactly what they do.
What's that?
I said I'm surprised that John the intern didn't hide this from the app, because it's basically what they do.
What do you
Summarize the podcast.
Well, no. John's doing the social media, but yes, I do stick it in ChatGPT and summarize the podcast in text and spit out all the things that I need to.
Severely misunderstood
so this
what
does.
they do.
It's a different task, you know.
I put out like 3 low quality tweets per episode, and then for Mayhem, I spend half of the show making one extremely bad meme using that like buff eagle image.
Yeah, there's a muscle eagle that's really.
I spend a lot of time on that, like a lot of time.
You either find the buff eagle really approachable or really unsettling. I don't think there's an in between. So, but John loves the buff eagle, so it is getting it has become like a mascot of the show.
About to say, I think we need to have somehow put a lucha mask on the buff eagle.
Oh, here we go. There we go. We'll talk about AI on the Wrestling Mayhem show, by the way.
I'll get right on that.
There you go. You got a side project. See, we're imposing new skills on these impressionable pit students here. So, God, where are we at with this? God, we started like so late apparently, right? So, anyways. It's still generating the audio. This is not a long script. This is maybe like a page of text.
That is one thing I noticed. It
it's
does
slow?
Take a little bit of time.
Okay.
And it does take a decent amount of time.
Well, we'll see if it does that. You have another AI story here. This was from like a week ago, but I think it was interesting because I'm like, this is one of those what's the story here? And it came up a couple podcasts, and then people, I don't know what the story is on this, but go ahead with this with the
Sure.
watermarking.
Yeah, this is now if you specifically put into I think it is. Let me make sure it's Gemini, or is this? If you specifically put in
Gemini 2.0 Flash.
Yeah, if you specifically say remove watermark, it will not remove it. It'll say, "Oh, I can't do that. That would be very bad of me." But I actually tested it on an old race picture I have, which is watermarked all to go.
Yeah,
and I just said improve image, and it removed the watermarks.
Okay. You got me
completely removed. Now it kind of mooshed up the rest of the image a little bit. It didn't do such as a good job as they were having the examples in the thing there, but yeah, it basically removed all the watermarks. And if you are a creator that, like I said, you put watermarks so no one steals your stuff. This is an issue.
I feel like Photoshop hasn't already done this.
Well, there's a difference though. If you had the watermark I had wasn't a simple one watermark. It was like a repeating diagonal white light image of it was Marathon Photo was the company, and it was continual all over the image. So to do that in Photoshop would take some time, because it's literally text, but it's not just one little bit of text. It's a lot of text repeating. This, I just put it up there and said, boom, and it got rid of it. And apparently it also will work. I'm trying to see if it worked here on video or not. I know it's definitely mentioned the and it fills in the gaps good too. So a lot of AI, where a lot of these AI images, like the one behind me, if someone had illustration abilities and drawing abilities, they could create something like this. This isn't like, oh, a person could never create what's behind me. A person could, but they would have to have skill. They would have to have the right software. It would take more than the 5 minutes it took me with prompts to produce this. Similar, this is, getting rid of this watermark, you don't have to have Photoshop. You don't need any special
I'm going to say this is a free version of Gemini, so it's accessible.
Yes.
Yeah, versus you're paying you're paying at least a monthly fee if you're using something like Photoshop. So I'm go ahead.
The hours and hours it takes to learn Photoshop.
That's true. I'm curious. Let me try something really quick. I want to see. Because I got something with the watermark here, and now you got me kind of thinking about this. So like when you do Disney, they do the PhotoPass stuff, trying to get you to purchase the thing, and they'll give you the images with watermarks. And I've downloaded them, just like there's still the pictures, and there's still some good times and stuff. So I'm kind of curious. So, oh no. So I picked kind of a complicated picture here. This is in the Buzz Lightyear Astro Shooter Space Ranger, kind of thing.
Yep.
So hold on a second. So this is what it looks like, and they said remove text. It kind of made some stuff up. Like something's happened to Buzz's text chest there. Now I'm curious. This is over Katie's face, so I wonder what it's going to do here. Let's say, and then just say remove text. Now, I've done this before when there's text on the background like you see at the top with the logo. I haven't done this where it's like over our faces. So I'm really and actually no, I've done some version of this and it'll just like create an entirely different thing.
What the hell is happening there?
Well, okay, that got weird.
You got a weird haircut.
I got glasses. They gave me sunglasses.
You looked like
reason.
Al from Toy Story 2. Al's toy barn.
I don't know what. I think they just imposed my face on Katie's, and I don't even want to show it again. I may have to edit this out of the.
That was quite scary. That was quite disturbing.
That is just going over there. That's just going over there. So, and we're gonna forget about that. Everybody. I want the internet to forget that ever happened, please. So, and we're gonna move on there. So we'll try Gemini and see how that works. So, jeez. Yeah. No, that was really unsettling, and yeah, I need to do something else now. Okay, I think that's about all we have. The palette cleanser would have been the palette cleanser would have been the space mushrooms, but that we already did that.
Yeah.
No. If you go to the Facebook group and look at the image I posted on the post from March 18th, in the comments I posted the photo after it removed the watermark.
All right, give me a second because it took away it took away ordered activity on these groups now, so it's kind of a pain in the butt. Yeah, thanks for that. I had a post about Street Fighter being up a Cybertruck, but I think it was like the Onion of video game articles. Not the closer I looked at it, so we're gonna skip that one. But if you want to read that, that's in the group. So what am I looking for here?
Well, if you look, it'll be
this
the
was
article.
Last year's.
Yeah, it's the in the AwesomeCast group.
I'm in the group.
Yeah, in the group.
I'm looking at Pebbles. Oh, there's the article you got, and you have a comment here with your thing.
There it is.
Okay, and this is again one with the waterfront. Now, again, was this like over your face or anything like that?
It was over everything.
Okay.
And you can see it did do a little something with my face there.
Yeah.
And the text on the bib, but overall, and I mean, when they put watermarks, they literally cover the entire image.
It's really kind of patterned, isn't it?
Yeah. And the fact that I was able to upload this, and I, like I said, I didn't say remove watermark because it wouldn't let me do it. I just said improve the image, and it came back and said, here it is."
The text is a little weird too. If you look at that.
But I've tried to do it manually, not in Photoshop, but in other programs, and there's so much text on it, it's impossible to really get rid of it.
And we're not saying steal your images from a marathon, like please support the marathon and purchase your pictures if you really want to do something with them. But this is an experimental kind of situation, right?
And also, if you are someone who is a creator and you go, well, I put watermarks on my image so no one steals it. Ew. Because I know, like I said, I know things like retouch and things like that can remove like a signature or a little thing on the side, just like a single image. That can do that good, but for multiple repeats,
Yeah.
the fact it can remove these without really seeing, there's no shadow of where the watermark is.
No. No. Anyways, so on that note, Chachi, it's good to have you on the show.
It's good to be here.
Good for having you hanging out.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yes.
I'm here.
You should come back more often.
I could do that now that I get off at 5.
Yes, you have a
And not
normal, you have a
8.
normal
Yeah.
East Coast person job now.
And that I know the show starts at 7, so I don't have to
Poor
rush.
Chachi rushes in here at 10 to 6. It's like, isn't the show starting? I'm like, you got another hour, bub.
Yeah, I completely forgot it was 7.
But he didn't tell me. He surprised me.
Yeah,
so,
it was a surprise.
Yes.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I completely forgot it was 7, so I rushed
Awesome.
in.
No,
so.
thank you so much for hopping in
Oh,
here. That was
And
good.
Sorg, before we go, I just want to mention a couple things that were in the Facebook chat because they were your mom. First of all, hello to the guy in the orange sweatshirt.
There you go.
Hi, Ma.
I don't think she's seen you for a while.
No, I don't think so.
And she also said, "Where's Missy?"
I don't know. She left
At
at
home?
like 6.
She's driving the new truck for the first time.
Yeah, she left at like 6:30.
Oh, and she also said, there's another comment in here too. Happy birthday, Sorg.
Oh man, I thought I was gonna avoid it. Yep. Just today. So thank you, Chachi.
on
Yeah.
the podcast day.
What do we have to promote? You took yourself off all the internets. You're not online anywhere to promote, right?
No, I'm not.
That you are promoting.
I'm nowhere on the internet. I don't use social media.
All right. Well, you can look up Chachi Says on stuff he used to say at some places.
Yeah.
I'm sure that Perk account still exists.
Plurk is still there.
Yes.
Twitter's. I got rid of X completely.
Okay.
That's gone.
Yeah.
Blue Sky is still there. Facebook is still there. I think that's it.
Awesome.
My name is not anywhere else.
No Chachi Says anywhere.
No.
Dave Podnar, iPhoneography Podcast, Prof Pod on most of the social medias.
Yep, I'm pretty much still everywhere. So
There you go. I mean, I'm plastering your face everywhere, baby. I don't care what they say in the comments. There it is.
Exactly.
There you go. You're just gonna be out there giving them an eyeful.
Yeah.
Let's just do it. Just lead into it.
Who's got his eye on you?
Yo, yes.
And then the other one on something else. What are you watching over there? You got 2 screens set up?
Just damn it. Now you sound like YouTube.
Sorry, I'll stop. But the thing is, I'm being funny about it. I'm not mean.
That is true. Oh my god. At Sorgatron on all the social medias. What's exciting? Top Rope Tabletop is this Friday coming out of the studio. Pro wrestlers playing Dungeons and Dragons. We had a lot of fun at the first one, and we're working out a lot of the kinks. We're really focusing in on it, and those guys are getting really serious about the show. So looking forward to see what they do for campaign 2 or campaign 3, I guess it is, session 2. So they'll be here Friday night. A lot of other things going on. Our friends, we're doing, of course, our video training. Intern John's part of that over Thursday nights at 880 Wrestling. So if you're interested in videography, learning it in one of the probably the most fast-paced and keeps you on your toes environment that you could possibly do it, you can join us on the south side for that. If you want to inquire, just hit me on the DMs or the social medias to be part of that situation. And it's not just camera, it's we have behind the scenes production and things like that, and there's other things going on that you can get involved into. A nice kind of student run ish show from week to week that's getting a lot of traction. So really appreciate all the work that goes into that and everybody involved in that. And and that's it. That's all I got this week. My God, I think I'm gonna. Oh, I guess there's a show Saturday too. But but anyways, thank you so much. We'll see you guys next week. You have been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at